Directions for your name graffiti project. Don't forget your name and teacher code on the back of your black paper and later on your white paper as well. To create your brick background, you're going to take a sponge and just gently pat it around in white and black paint. So you'll get different varieties of grays in your bricks when you stamp them. Gently press your sponge down, making sure all parts of the sponge are pushed flat onto your paper. And then as you move across, you're going to leave a small gap in between your brick shapes. And it is okay if your bricks go off the edge of your paper. When you move to the next row, you're going to look for the first gap between bricks, leaving space on top of your brick as well. And you're going to continue the same stamping of the brick shape, leaving a little bit of space on the top and the bottom and in between each brick. Making sure they're staggered creates the appearance of the brick pattern. For the other part of your project, you will be creating bubble letters of your name. Decide if you want to use your full name or maybe just a shortened version or your initials. All you do is draw a letter as you normally would and then create kind of a bubble shape around it, and make sure that you drew light enough on your original letter so that you can easily erase. It's a really good idea to practice before you start on your original paper. Something to keep in mind is that the white paper you're writing your letters on is the same size as your black paper. So you want to fill mainly the center part of your white paper so that when you eventually cut it out, it will fill that space on your black paper. Remember, lightly draw your letters out as you normally would. Then you will go around each letter, making them bubbled. So you're putting a line that goes all the way around your letter, and your letters should bump into each other and do a little bit of overlapping. So make sure that you're drawing very large. If you have to make corrections, no big deal. And if you're doing a letter such as this letter D right here, you decide if you want to do the middle inside part or if you want to leave that large. Same thing with the R or other enclosed letters. But go ahead and make very large bubbles around each letter, checking to make sure they're probably a finger or two in width. Then you will use oil pastels to gradually blend together at least 3 colors. Make sure that they mix well before you start overlapping them. It's a good idea to check on the back of your paper or refer to a color wheel if you're not sure what colors mix nicely. Your coloring should be nice and bold and dark, so no white spaces should be showing, nice small movements. When you're ready to switch to the next color, you're going to just slightly overlap the previous color. When you do this, if you use a little less pressure, when you're going back to overlap, you can switch colors and they blend very nice. As tempting as it is to brush off the crumbs, please leave them be so you don't smear your artwork. Next, you will use watered down black tempera paint to paint around the outside of all of your letters. So wherever your pencil lines are, you're going around with black paint very carefully. You're also going to paint in between the letter spaces. So if your letters touch and there is a space such as between the S and the T, you're also going to paint that in black very carefully. And then after you're done with your black painting, you will add highlights with white paint to the tops and bottoms of your letters. Once your painting is dry, very carefully cut around your letters. I like to do what I call a bubble cut first because I'm not always cutting up right next to the edge until I have trimmed all the way around. Just to make things easier, then I can go back and more easily cut in the smaller spaces around my letters. Finally, once everything's cut out, decide how you'd like it glued and really focus on your edge when you're adding glue. If you're using a glue stick, you have to be quick enough where the glue does not turn clear, otherwise you may have to add another layer. Place it down where you'd like it, pat it gently on the front so we don't smear anything, and then flip it over, rub the back to make sure the glue is sealed down nicely.